What if everything you've been taught about success, happiness, and resilience is wrong? Most people chase motivation, confidence, or the approval of others, only to find themselves trapped in cycles of self-doubt, emotional turmoil, and fear. But the ancient Stoics knew a hidden truth. None of those things will make you unshakable. The difference between the ordinary and the extraordinary isn't luck, talent, or even intelligence. It's how you train your mind. While most people let their emotions control them, the Stoics mastered a mental framework so powerful that it allowed them to face war, exile, betrayal, even death with absolute composure. Here's the paradox. True power isn't about controlling the world, it's about controlling yourself. And when you do that, the world bends to you. Imagine having a mindset so strong that no insult, failure, or setback could break you. Imagine making decisions with complete clarity, acting with unwavering purpose, and moving through life with the same calm, fearless focus as the greatest philosophers and emperors in history. This isn't just another self-help video. These 12 Stoic secrets hold the key to a life of absolute mastery, of yourself, your emotions, and your destiny. But most people will never learn them. Stay with me, because what you're about to discover will change everything. 1. The power of indifference, why caring less makes you stronger. Most people believe that caring deeply about everything, what others think, what they say, how they judge you, is a sign of emotional intelligence. But the truth is, the more you care about the wrong things, the weaker you become. This is the paradox of indifference. The less you seek approval, the more powerful you are. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic emperors, wrote in Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." He ruled the most powerful empire in the world, yet he knew that true control isn't over people, fame, or fortune. It's over yourself. The moment you stop letting the opinions, emotions, and expectations of others dictate your actions, you become untouchable. Why indifference is a superpower? Most people are slaves to external validation. They shape their decisions based on fear of judgment, fear of failure, fear of disappointing others. But Stoics knew that this was a trap, because when you place your happiness in the hands of others, you surrender your freedom. Think about it. Why do insults hurt? Why does rejection sting? It's not because of the words themselves, it's because you give them power. Imagine if instead you trained yourself to be indifferent, not cold, not emotionless, but unmoved by trivial things. Epictetus, a former slave turned philosopher, said, "If someone succeeds in provoking you, realize that your mind is complicit in the provocation." In other words, no one can make you feel small without your permission. The moment you stop reacting emotionally to negativity, you gain something most people will never have: absolute self-command. How to apply indifference to everyday life. Stop seeking validation. Approval is a fleeting illusion. The only opinion that truly matters is your own. Detach from outcomes. The Stoics mastered the art of effort without obsession. Do your best, but don't be controlled by results. Treat praise and criticism the same. If you let praise lift you, criticism will destroy you. Remain steady. This is what makes indifference a weapon. Not apathy, but strategic detachment. When you stop caring about what doesn't matter, you gain the freedom to focus on what does. And that's where real power begins. 2. Mastering perception. The hidden truth about how you see reality. What if I told you that reality isn't what happens to you? It's how you interpret it. Two people can face the exact same challenge. One crumbles under pressure while the other rises stronger. Why? Because perception is the filter through which we experience the world. Change the filter, and you change everything. The illusion of reality. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, it is not the thing itself that troubles you, but your judgment about it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment." In other words, events don't have meaning until you give them one. Imagine two warriors on a battlefield. One sees the enemy approaching and thinks, "I am doomed." The other sees the same enemy and thinks, "What an opportunity to test my strength." Same situation, two completely different realities. This is what the Stoics mastered, controlling perception so that nothing, not failure, pain, or even death, could shake them. How your mind shapes your reality. Your perception is constantly being shaped by your beliefs. If you believe something is impossible, it becomes impossible for you. Your emotions, fear, anger, and doubt distort reality. A calm mind sees the truth. Your expectations. If you expect perfection, everything will disappoint you. If you expect hardship, nothing will surprise you. Seneca put it perfectly. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. Most people live as prisoners of their own mind, tormented not by reality but by their distorted perception of it. Stoicism teaches that you can take control, how to master perception in everyday life, reframe every challenge. Instead of thinking, "Why is this happening to me?" think, "What is this teaching me?" Detach from first impressions. Your initial reaction is often emotional and flawed. Take a step back. Question your thoughts. Whenever you feel overwhelmed, ask yourself, is this truly bad or am I just seeing it that way? The Stoics didn't avoid hardship. They trained their minds to see it differently. They knew that nothing has power over you unless you allow it to. Once you master perception, you master reality. 3. Embrace discomfort. Why Stoics seek hardship instead of avoiding it? Most people do everything they can to avoid discomfort. They seek ease, pleasure, and convenience, believing that comfort equals happiness. But what if the very thing you're avoiding is the key to your strength? The Stoics knew a hidden truth. Comfort weakens you. Hardship makes you powerful. The paradox of hardship. Seneca wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body. Look at nature. The strongest trees grow in the harshest winds. The toughest warriors are forged in the most brutal battles. And the most resilient minds are shaped by struggle, not ease. The modern world tells you to seek a life of comfort, but comfort breeds weakness." Every great thinker, leader, and warrior in history had one thing in common. They embraced discomfort, not because they enjoyed suffering, but because they understood its purpose, to make them stronger. The hidden power of seeking hardship. Marcus Aurelius faced war, betrayal, and plague, yet he remained unshaken because he trained himself to expect difficulty. He saw every hardship as an opportunity to sharpen his mind. Epictetus, who was born a slave, taught, "We must undergo a hard winter training and not rush into things for which we haven't prepared." What does this mean for you? It means hardship is not your enemy, it's your training ground. The Stoics deliberately practiced discomfort. Seneca practiced poverty to remind himself he could survive with nothing. Cato wore simple clothing to train himself to ignore social judgment. Marcus Aurelius embraced challenges as exercises for his resilience. They understood a simple truth. If you make yourself comfortable with discomfort, nothing can break you. How to apply this in your life? Do something difficult every day. Wake up early. Take cold showers. Push past your limits in training. Detach from luxury. The more you need comfort, the weaker you become. Learn to be happy with less. See hardship as training. Instead of complaining, ask yourself, how is this making me stronger? The weak avoid discomfort. The strong seek it. Because the more you endure, the less there is that can ever hurt you. 4. The art of letting go. How to free yourself from what you can't control. Most people spend their lives trapped in a battle they can never win, trying to control the uncontrollable. They stress over the past, obsess over the future, and exhaust themselves trying to force outcomes that were never in their power to begin with. But the Stoics knew a profound truth. Freedom begins the moment you stop trying to control what you can't. The illusion of control. Epictetus made it simple. Some things are up to us and some things are not. You can control your thoughts, actions, and responses. You cannot control external events, other people, or fate. Yet most people do the opposite. They waste their energy on things beyond their influence while neglecting the one thing they do control, themselves. Imagine carrying a heavy chain everywhere you go, believing that if you just pull hard enough you can move the world. But the truth is, the world moves on its own. And the only thing that changes is how much suffering you create for yourself. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." When you let go of the need to control, you gain something far greater: peace, clarity, and resilience. The secret to mental freedom. Letting go isn't weakness, it's not passive resignation. It's a strategic decision to focus on what actually matters. Here's how the Stoics practiced it. Accept reality as it is, not as you wish it were, but as it truly is. The more you resist reality, the more you suffer. Detach from outcomes. Do your best, but understand that the final result is never fully in your hands. Reframe misfortune. Instead of seeing setbacks as failures, see them as lessons, training, or redirections. Seneca said, "He who yields to fate and accepts it with good grace is deemed wise by the gods." In other words, when you stop fighting the inevitable, you become invincible. The world will move as it pleases. People will do what they do. Events will unfold as they must. But none of it has power over you, unless you give it power. Let go and you'll finally be free. 5. Emotional alchemy, transforming pain into power. Most people see pain as an enemy. They run from it, numb it, or let it consume them. But the Stoics knew something the world has forgotten. Pain is not your enemy. It is your rawest source of power. Just like alchemists once tried to turn lead into gold, you can transform suffering into strength, weakness into wisdom, and hardship into fuel, the hidden purpose of pain. Epictetus, who was born a slave and endured unimaginable hardship, didn't resent his suffering. Instead, he used it as the foundation of his philosophy. He said, "Difficulties show a person's character. So when trouble comes, think of yourself as a wrestler whom fate has matched with a tough opponent. Why? So that you may become stronger." Pain isn't pointless. It's a test, a sharpening stone, a lesson. Marcus Aurelius, who ruled through war and plague, wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In other words, what hurts you has the potential to make you unstoppable if you choose to use it. How to turn pain into power. Detach from suffering. Pain is an experience. Suffering is a choice. Instead of saying, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "How can this strengthen me?" Reframe every hardship as training. The Stoics saw life as a battlefield. Every struggle was an opportunity to build resilience. Use pain as fuel. The greatest minds, warriors, and leaders didn't succeed despite their pain. They succeeded because of it. Seneca said, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself." Pain is proof that you are alive. It is raw energy waiting to be transformed. Let it break you or let it build you. The choice is yours. Because in the hands of the wise, pain isn't an anchor. It's a weapon. 6. Memento mori, using death as the ultimate motivation. Most people fear death. They avoid thinking about it, pretend it's far away, or distract themselves with trivialities. But the Stoics did something radically different. They meditated on death daily, not to depress themselves, but to empower themselves. They understood a truth most people ignore. When you accept death, you start truly living. The power of remembering your mortality. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think." Seneca put it even more bluntly, "Let us prepare our minds as if we'd come to the very end of life. We are not given a short life, but we make it so." The Stoics weren't obsessed with death. They were obsessed with wasting life. They knew that the fear of death leads to procrastination, hesitation, and regret. But those who remember they will die, they act with urgency. Why memento mori is the ultimate motivation. Think of how much time people waste. Holding grudges that won't matter on their deathbed. Delaying dreams as if they'll live forever. Worrying about opinions that will die with those who hold them. But when you meditate on death, everything shifts. You stop postponing what matters. You cut out distractions and nonsense. You live with full intensity because you know time is your most valuable currency. How to apply memento mori in daily life. Ask yourself daily, if this were my last day, would I be proud of how I lived it? Let go of trivial worries. If it won't matter on your deathbed, it shouldn't matter now. Act with urgency. Stop waiting for someday. Start now. The clock is ticking. Every second gone is never coming back. But that's not something to fear. It's something to use. Because once you embrace death, you're no longer a prisoner of it. You become unstoppable. 7. The discipline of desire. How to want less and gain more. Most people believe that having more money, more possessions, more pleasure will bring them happiness. But the Stoics knew a hidden truth. The more you desire, the more you suffer. The world teaches you to chase. to always want something just out of reach. But what if you stopped running? What if you mastered your desires instead of being enslaved by them? The paradox of desire. Epictetus warned,
Freedom is not achieved by satisfying desire, but by eliminating it.
the more you crave, the more control the world has over you. You want wealth? Now money owns your mind. You want fame? Now you fear obscurity. You want approval? Now others dictate your happiness. The more you need, the more you can lose. But the man who needs nothing, he is invincible. Why less desire means more power? Seneca said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, who is poor." Think about the strongest, most unshakable people in history. They weren't ruled by their appetites. They weren't distracted by fleeting pleasures. They were focused, disciplined, and free. When you reduce your desires, you gain mental clarity, no distractions pulling you in every direction. Emotional stability, no disappointment from unfulfilled cravings. True power, because nothing outside of you can control you. How to master your desires like a Stoic. Practice voluntary discomfort. Eat simply. Sleep on the floor. Prove to yourself that you don't need luxury to be content. Train your mind to want less. Ask, do I truly need this, or have I been conditioned to think I do? Detach from external validation. Live by your own principles, not the approval of others. The world will always tempt you with more pleasure, more status, more distractions, but real strength comes from needing nothing. Because the man who desires little loses little, and the man who loses little fears nothing. 8. Fortress mindset. How to become unshakable in chaos. The world is unpredictable. One moment, life is calm. The next, everything falls apart. Plans fail, people betray you, disasters strike. Most people crumble under pressure. They panic, complain, or break down. But the Stoics? They remain unshaken. Because they've built something most people lack, a fortress mindset. The philosophy of mental invincibility. Marcus Aurelius faced war, plague, and betrayal, yet he never lost control. Why? Because he understood. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. You can't control the storm, but you can control how you stand in it. Seneca wrote, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." In other words, chaos isn't your enemy, it's your training. Every challenge is a test, sharpening you into someone who cannot be broken. How to build an unshakable mindset. Detach from outcomes. Stop expecting life to go your way. Expect obstacles instead and see them as part of the path. Control your response, not reality. When chaos hits, pause. Ask, what can I control? Then act from logic, not emotion. Rehearse adversity. Train your mind before the storm arrives. Visualize setbacks. Practice discomfort. Prepare yourself to face anything. Epictetus taught, man is not disturbed by events, but by his opinion about them. Most people break because they let circumstances dictate their emotions. But when you build a fortress mindset, nothing shakes you. The storm comes for everyone, but when it arrives, will you be the one standing strong? 9. Ruthless self-discipline. Why Stoics demand the best from themselves. Most people wait for motivation. They seek comfort, take shortcuts, and quit when things get hard. But the Stoics lived by a different code, a code of ruthless self-discipline. They didn't rely on feelings. They didn't make excuses. They demanded the best from themselves every single day. The power of mastering yourself. Epictetus warned, no man is free who is not master of himself. Freedom isn't doing whatever you want. It's having the strength to do what is necessary no matter how you feel. The weak follow their impulses. The disciplined follow their principles. The weak do what is easy. The disciplined do what is right. The weak seek comfort. The disciplined seek challenge. Marcus Aurelius wrote, at dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I am rising to do the work of a human being. Because discipline isn't punishment, it's the key to strength, control, and true power. How to train ruthless self-discipline. Do what you say you'll do, no matter what. Don't negotiate with yourself. Keep your word, especially to yourself. Choose discomfort over ease. Wake up early. Train harder. Take the difficult path. Growth only comes from challenge. Kill excuses before they kill you. Excuses are weakness disguised as logic. Cut them off before they take control. Seneca said, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Your mind will always try to convince you to quit. Ignore it. Show up anyway, take action anyway. Because in the end, discipline is the only path to greatness. 10. Action over excuses. Why thinking means nothing without doing. Most people love to plan. They read, analyze, and think about success, but when it's time to act, they hesitate. They wait for the right moment, the perfect conditions, and in the end, they do nothing. The Stoics had no patience for this. They understood one brutal truth: knowledge without action is worthless. The illusion of thinking without doing. Seneca warned against this trap. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. People overthink. They build fears in their minds. They convince themselves they need more preparation. But in truth, the only way to grow is to act. Marcus Aurelius, a man who led Rome through war and crisis, didn't have the luxury of hesitation. He wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." In other words, stop talking, stop thinking, start doing. How to kill excuses and take action like a Stoic. Start before you're ready. Perfect conditions don't exist. The only way to be prepared is to begin. Make action your default. When in doubt, take a step forward. Even a small move is better than staying still. Detach from results. Don't obsess over success or failure. Focus on doing the work. Epictetus put it simply, if you want to be good, then start. Most people wait. The disciplined act, and the world belongs to those who move. 11. Action over excuses. Why thinking means nothing without doing. Most people believe knowledge is power. They read books, watch videos, and plan their future. But the Stoics knew a hidden truth. Knowledge is useless without action. How many people say they want to change but never do? How many dream of success but never take the first step? They drown in overthinking, trapped by excuses and fear. The illusion of overthinking. Seneca warned, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. People waste time worrying about what might go wrong instead of moving forward. They tell themselves, I need more time. I need to be more prepared. I'll start when I feel ready. But there is no perfect time, and the longer you wait, the weaker you become. Marcus Aurelius wrote, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. In other words, stop talking, stop thinking, start doing. How to kill excuses and take action like a Stoic. Start before you're ready. The only way to be prepared is to begin. Make action your default. When in doubt, take a step forward, no matter how small. Detach from results. Don't worry about failure or success. Focus on doing the work. Epictetus put it simply, if you want to be good, then start. Most people wait. The disciplined act, and the world belongs to those who move. 12. The Stoics' final lesson: how to live so nothing can break you. Life will test you. You will face pain, betrayal, and loss. People will disappoint you. Circumstances will turn against you. And in those moments, you will have only two choices: to break or to remain unshaken. The Stoics chose the latter. Not because they were emotionless, but because they understood one powerful truth. Nothing outside of you has the power to break you unless you allow it. The ultimate formula for inner strength. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in the world, faced war, plague, and the death of his children. Yet he wrote, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Seneca, who was ordered to take his own life, accepted his fate calmly, reminding us, a wise man is content with his lot, whatever it may be, without wishing for what he has not. Their secret? They built their strength from within, not from the world around them. How to become unbreakable? Detach from what you can't control. Pain, loss, failure. These are external. Your response is internal. Control that, and nothing can harm you. Embrace hardship as training. Every challenge is an opportunity to sharpen your mind and strengthen your soul. Use it. Live with purpose. A man who knows his purpose does not crumble under pressure. He endures because he has something greater to serve. The final lesson. At the end of it all, what truly matters? Not wealth, not status, not comfort. Only this. Did you live with strength? Did you stand firm when the storm came? Did you become the kind of person who, no matter what happens, cannot be broken? That is the Stoics' final lesson. Master this and you will never fear life again. Life will never stop testing you. Hardship is inevitable. But weakness? That is a choice. The Stoics understood that true strength is not found in wealth, status, or comfort. It is built within. It is the ability to remain unshaken, no matter what life throws at you. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." And that is the final lesson. Master yourself and nothing can break you. Now it's your turn. Ask yourself, am I truly in control of my mind, or am I still ruled by fear, desire, and external events? Comment below, what's one Stoic principle you're going to apply in your life starting today? Let's build a mindset that nothing can shake. If you found value in this, subscribe for more timeless Stoic wisdom, hit like to support the channel, and watch this next video on the Stoics' Guide to Unbreakable Self-Discipline, because true strength is built through action. Until next time, stand firm, think clearly, and live with purpose.